I think meeting Neymar, especially playing 2-on-2 with Neymar.
Yeah.
That was a highlight.
So you've traveled all these like different places. I've seen you've been to Thailand. You played on a little island that's like not like a little football island.
To get to that pitch, you have to order like a private boat company to take you out to this island.
Who's the most interesting person you've met so far in these journeys professionally?
You're listening to Bought with Nelly.
Mo Ali. How do I say your last name? Your last name, I don't want to butcher it.
Last name is Haydarpur.
Haydarpur. So the R is silent? Kind of?
Haydarpur.
It's
Yeah,
very
sort
quiet.
of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, you live a wild life. I remember seeing you like years ago. You had like 50,000 Instagram followers doing these little trick shot videos and all that. And then next thing you know, you're playing with like professional footballers. Like it seems like every other week before COVID, obviously. I want to know how this like happened. How did you do this?
Yeah, for sure. So before this all happened, I was actually playing soccer like professionally as well. I started in Canada in the CSL at the time. And then after CSL, I got a chance to go to Slovakia, FC Vion. So for any Canadian fans, they know
That's a shout.
Sabara was there too.
Yep.
So we were there together for a time.
That's how you know. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so we played together. And then during the time I was in Slovakia, like playing professionally, I was also shooting videos. When I had the free time, I would go to the training pitch or stadium and just shoot free kicks or fun content. And my goal at the time was to be like a YouTuber and professional player at the same time. Because at that time, it was rare to see like some of the players doing any type of content. And no one was really on YouTube. So that was my goal. And then had a few injuries, came back. I went back to USA in Boston. And then I had so much free time recovering. And that's when I really started shooting the videos. I wanted to keep playing professionally, but then this grew much bigger than I thought. And then sponsors came in and I was making more money than playing, you know.
That's crazy.
So
Did you had trials at Boca Juniors or is that just like you went there too for a video?
No, I just went there with Gatorade. It was like they hosted us at the training academy with the second team, just training, but nothing serious. But that's an amazing club also.
Yeah, I was going to say. You played in the Canadian Soccer League. Canada still has now 2 soccer leagues. They've started a new Premier League, which Stefan is playing for. If that was around in your time, do you think you would have like put all your energy into that or no?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we got unlucky that wasn't around during our time. But I actually got an offer this season to be an assistant coach and a player for the Toronto team. I think it was called like Forge or something. They're a green team. But maybe in the next few years, I'll start playing again or coaching.
It's never too late. You still have a touch. You've developed this touch from these little skill games that you're doing everywhere. So like...
For sure. I think my technical ability is better than when I was playing.
Right.
Because we've been to all these clubs, training with all these players and just seeing them, the way they touch the ball and stuff, you learn quick just from watching them.
Maybe that's a YouTube series or something, like becoming a pro in Canada. Like I'd watch that, like your journey.
For sure. For sure, man. I'll let you know when it's live.
Yeah, please. You've played with some crazy people. I don't know, like I've seen some videos, not even played people, met some cool people. What's been like the craziest, like surreal experience for you? You've met Neymar, Kaká, Podolski. What's been like kind of a moment where you just couldn't believe it?
Yeah, I mean, meeting all these players was cool. I think meeting Neymar, especially playing 2-on-2 with Neymar.
Yeah.
That was a highlight. That was a fun time. We were in LA, like a bunch of fans, and we just played 2v2 street football. So it's him and his friend against me and my friend. And we just got to kick it. You could see how good he is. Like if you get close to him, he's like an elastic. Like you can tell if you jump in, he's going to touch the ball.
Does it feel like it's a magnet like on his feet? Like it's like glued to his feet?
I don't know if it's a magnet. It's more his body movements.
Right.
So like the way his body moves, it's super quick feints. And he throws you off balance with shifts of his body without even touching the ball.
That's crazy.
So
that's the highest level of any football you've probably seen, right? Like that's the pinnacle of, he's like top 5 players in the world.
Yeah, for sure. He was one of the best.
Is there anyone that you kind of wish you could still play with? What's the bigger goal going forward for this your brand?
I mean, the bigger goal is to work with the top players like Messi, Ronaldo, and whoever comes up. Like we worked with a lot of young players who are now doing good, like Dom Calvert-Lewin at Everton.
Saw that. Very cool.
Top scorer of the league right now, and some other players. But the end goal, I think, like do it with Messi, Ronaldo, and just create fun stuff.
That's cool. Do you ever run out of ideas for these skills? How do you come up with so many different videos and skill moves? And you got a book or something?
We usually plan the night before.
Really?
I think like it's endless, like people just keep creating new stuff and there's always new drills to be made and you can get creative. I don't think like in the history of football, you'll ever run out of drills or ideas.
Right. Do you get nervous or this was like a thing in the past? When you first got your first call up to like do a video with like a big name? Bro, how nervous was that?
I think when we first started off, it was with MLS players.
Right.
And it was something new, like we were one of the first guys to be doing this with pro players. And you just adapt as you go, But of course, the first time you're a bit nervous, like you don't know what to expect. But as you go on, like now we've done maybe 300-400 players. It's a lot easy now, like no pressure. Now we do challenges. We're winning all of them. So.
Yeah. Now you look like an absolute like all-star, right? With all these like. So does it get tiring? You're doing a lot of traveling. You're obviously like rarely at home, I assume. How that lifestyle is kind of wild.
Yeah, for sure. It's tough. I think 11 months of the year you're traveling, and you're not home, and it gets tiring too. But always it's fun if you enjoy what you're doing. Like I love being at the training pitch or at the stadium, and every day we're with a new professional player and just learning and seeing how their club works and how they train and all that stuff. It's interesting for me.
That's cool. How does this work though? Does the club invite you or do you get in contact with players? How does this actually work?
Yeah, so it works a few ways. Like one way you said, we DM players or message them and they arrange it. Another way is through sponsors. So for instance, let's say we work with Puma. They organize the club that they sponsor and they get 2-3 players out. We shoot a training session for the brand.
Right.
And then sometimes it's directly through the club. So if they want promotion, like for instance, Olympique Marseille, they invited us to France 2 days. They had media day. And that's when we shot with like 2-3 of their players directly through the club.
Has any pro ever like slid in your DMs? Hey, bro, I want to work on my heading ability. Like, can you set up some drills?
Yeah, man, always.
Yeah.
So I think players all know now. It's for sure been in their explore page.
Right.
So they've seen the trainings, and I'm sure they've seen their friends do it because we've been to like a lot of different clubs.
Right.
So they all see it. I think it's just fun. Sometimes it's good to do like a fun training. Because normally all week you're stressed out, maybe you're in a bad losing streak. Like when we were at Schalke in the Bundesliga, they were on a 5-game losing streak, and like the players were depressed and bad. But after we did the training, actually, next game they won.
Oh, you gotta take full credit for that.
Yeah, man. The guy we trained with scored to a header.
No way.
He never scored a header,
He should have called you the next day, be like, "Hey, bro, I need you back in Germany like tomorrow morning." Like,
for sure.
That's hype. So you've traveled all these like different places. I've seen you've been to Thailand. You played on a little island that's like not like a little football island. That seems like something that's only like, I don't know, maybe like 10, 20 people. Not maybe 10, 20, but like a couple thousand people have done. How was that? How was that experience?
Yeah, that was crazy because to get to that pitch, you have to order like a private boat company to take you out to this island. And you drive, 30 minutes with the boat. And when you get there, it's like a excluded island with like local villagers. But we got there, it's amazing, surrounded by water, mountains. it's like a scenic view.
Yeah, it's like
I'm sure
some
you saw the
Mortal
video.
Kombat movie or something. Like it seems like it's like an island where they fight, you know?
Yeah, man.
Did you
So
like
the
actually play with the locals or no?
We didn't have time to play. Oh, actually, we did. That night, we played with the locals, and there were more adults, but they helped train the younger kids of that village to one day maybe be pro players or something. But it's a nice community thing, you know? The community built it, the kids helped, and people now just visit that area. So it's become a tourist attraction.
Right. Are they good? Are they any good?
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah. For people that can only play on one island in one spot, like it seems tough to practice, you know?
Yeah, for sure. They have passion for sure.
Right. Did you have to like swim in the water for like the balls or?
Yeah, so we got lucky. There was 2 local kids.
Yeah.
So every time we missed, they would go and swim and get the ball for us. And then we just gave them a nice tip after.
Nice.
For all their work.
Did any of the kids like recognize your videos or that'd be kind of wild?
At the time, I'm not sure. They didn't speak English, you know?
Right, right.
So, but they were just excited to fetch the ball for us. And
right.
It was a fun time.
That's hype. What's the big goal going forward with your brand? What are you trying to achieve? You know, like you're kind of in a stagnant place now with COVID. You know, any bigger plans for the future? You've got your own podcast. You've got a bunch of stuff going. What's the big end goal, I guess, if there is one?
Yeah, the end goal for now is just keep growing the brand, working with bigger and bigger players. The goal eventually one day is to maybe do some live events, maybe some of these training sessions live at the stadium, let fans come and see, or maybe have like player challenges live. Just get creative and crazy, take it to the next level.
Yeah, what is the next one? Like a TV show? Player. Maybe like a TV show?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, maybe soon. It's actually in the talks, so we'll see.
I want an exclusive next. No, I'm just kidding. You're making also YouTube content. You're making Twitter content. You're on everywhere, right? What's the Twitter or what's the YouTube goal? Because that's kind of a space I'm more familiar with. I've seen like you've got some nice thumbnails, but what's the challenge with YouTube content, jumping from Instagram to YouTube? Yeah,
for sure. So I think the majority of my time right now was spent doing like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook content, because that's where I grew a lot, you know? And I've been slacking on YouTube. YouTube was actually the first thing I started.
Really?
Yeah. So that's when I started getting big. And then we were featured a bunch on different pages like Free Kickers and other pages. And then we got lazy because we started getting more like attention on Instagram. But I think definitely soon we'll have to start doing more YouTube again.
Right.
Yeah.
I think you've got these short videos, which is really tough to sell because YouTube has now become a place with like they focus on watch time. So like longer form videos, even though the thumbnails are good, even if the video is interesting, it's like short videos are not going to get recommended by YouTube. So
yeah, for sure. I think we'll start making vlogs, you know, of the journey to each player.
Yes.
So that's the idea.
That's actually a great idea.
We might just do that as a TV show, you know?
That's actually smart. Yeah, like I would love to see the journey of like you going to like Schalke or some place and just like getting to know the players and training for these like skills and all that. That'd be really hype, I think.
For sure, man.
That's cool, man. I don't know. I'm really it's really fascinating. Like are you one of the first people to kind of do this on Instagram? Because you started what 6-7 years ago?
Yeah, I think now it's like YouTube for sure 7-8 years ago.
Yeah.
I think the training we started maybe 4 or 5 years ago. We were one of the first. And at that time, you know, all the training videos, they got crazy engagement because no one had ever seen something like that, especially like shooting on the targets.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that was like creative time. We were one of the first to do it. And that's why we became so big, you know. I think now there's a lot of trainers, but it's much harder to grow unless you're doing something like exceptional.
Right. Did you ever think it would get anywhere close to this when you first started? Was there any goal, or were you just making videos for funs, like for fun times with your friends and, you know, whatever? Or was this a goal from the beginning?
I had the vision, you know. I thought it'd be even bigger than this, to be honest. Because I know with YouTube and stuff, like if you work hard, put out good content, you're going to grow, you know. There's not really a secret. If you're putting in the work more than someone else, it's going to grow bigger. And so I think like we haven't even gone hard yet, in my opinion, especially
Really,
like last
7 years
year.
in, you think you're still like not even close to putting in the full?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because I think once we get to the level where we're just filming with like Premier League, Serie A, La Liga players, that's when it'll be like the best, you know?
Right.
And like we already have access for that, but just this last year with COVID and stuff, like we were supposed to shoot with like Man U players, other big players. And I think people haven't really seen the big players yet. Like we've been with Neymar, Hakimi, these guys. But I think it'll be even bigger soon.
Is there someone in the space that's like bigger and been doing it longer than you, or no?
Training wise, no. So we're like the biggest training account training pro players. But there's like different trainers. A good one actually is Superior Striker.
Yep.
So he's not like too big on social media. I think he has like 150K. But he's like actual coach now for the England national team.
Wow.
So he's the striker coach for England, which is crazy.
That is crazy that this avenue opened up that path for him. That's so insane.
Yeah, for sure.
How many people are on your team? How many people are working on this? Is it just you or an editor? How many people are involved?
Yeah, so it's different every trip, you know. Sometimes, normally, it's me and one or two other guys, a filmer, editor. But sometimes our friends want to come on a trip or something.
Yeah.
So we just bring them along and they enjoy it, you know. They get to go into a stadium with exclusive access. And they just enjoyed the time, like with a player. They joke around.
Yeah, they just like, bro, come on, let me see Neymar, please.
We let them do a challenge with the pro, you know.
Really?
Like versus the pro. And it's funny.
Damn, whoever like your friends were early on, like they really invested smartly. Like now they can meet like Lampard and Neymar and all these people just because like they know you and you can bring them to the stadiums. That's pretty hype. That's pretty cool. Do you think like going forward, you know, are you gonna run out of any of these like, you know, you're starting a podcast? You already started a podcast. What's the deal with the podcast? What are you trying to accomplish there?
Yeah, so the podcast, we want to just talk with different players, show their journey, how they became a pro, and because every player is different, you know?
Right.
So I think from each player, you can learn different things and see like all the different journeys players have been on to get to where they are. Especially for kids, I think they need to understand like it's not easy, it's hard.
That's very true,
but
yeah.
You have to enjoy the journey, like don't give up and things like that, you know?
What about I guess that's a good segue. Like what about some tips for younger people trying to maybe do something similar with social media, or trying to grow in football? You probably, you know, you love football so much you wanted to do anything in the football space and you stumbled upon this and made this work. If someone else wants to remain in football, what's the journey? What's the move? Yeah,
I think in today's generation, I think nothing's impossible now, you know. You could be anywhere, any country, any situation. As long as you can get access to a phone or camera,
right,
you can really put yourself out there. I think just work hard, you know, put in the time. Like you can always be doing things to improve yourself.
Right.
And just whenever you get free time, train, record your training, record what you're doing, just document your journey. And you're going to find people who have the same passions and want to follow you.
Yeah, but that's a good point. Like, the people probably don't understand what kind of grind it probably was at the start, trying to film these videos, spending hours on, like, getting the right shot, then going and editing, and then, like, exporting and putting it on every platform, promoting it. Like, there's a lot of things that people probably don't think about.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's the part where you got to enjoy, you know?
Yeah.
So if you don't enjoy that, it's gonna be tough posting on 8 platforms when you hit it.
Right. But now on the upside, it's like a lot easier to do that. Back in like your day when you first started, you probably had like some space age, like some super old technology, like a Texas Instruments calculator you had to like access. Yeah. But now you can one click, it's everywhere.
Yeah, for sure. I think creators also push each other, you know, like at the time you're like, man, 2 posts is too much in one day.
Right.
And then you see people now put 5-6 posts in a day. So I think creators push each other to make more content as well.
Right. What about like maybe newer technology, like drones, like working more with drones and getting aerial shots of skills games? Like that was not something that was even accessible 20 years ago, right? Like now you can get it for $500. You can probably do it for dirt cheap.
Yeah, for sure. I remember back in the day, if someone had a drone shot, it was crazy. You know?
Yeah. It was like these guys have a Hollywood budget. Like, how do they do
Yeah, man. Now everyone has it.
Right. What about other technology that like? What about other things you want to kind of incorporate with Instagram technology? Anything else that you kind of wish VR maybe? What's the future for that? Do you have any ideas where we're going?
VR is interesting because I don't know, maybe like FIFA or something. In the future, we might be playing FIFA in VR.
Right. That would be
So
a headache.
yeah, I think this new generation, the kids are lucky, but I don't know if they know how lucky they are.
Right. Maybe the future for videos is like get a camera with VR features and like you can watch like, I don't know, like Neymar. You could see like 360 degrees of him like juggling a ball or something like that'd be insane.
Yeah, for sure. I think 360 videos of everything.
You take 360 videos?
We haven't. I mean, some gadgets they take it.
Oh yeah.
We've just tried, but not like a full video.
That's crazy. What's the craziest place you've traveled to with through soccer through this channel?
The craziest, they're all amazing, but I think some of the craziest fans, for instance, would be in Indonesia.
Really? Indonesia?
Or Turkey. Yeah. So Indonesia has a crazy soccer fan base. It's not known because not too many people document it, but I think it's one of like the craziest fans and derbies there.
Really?
You should research into it.
Yeah, no, I didn't hear about it till today.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then also Turkey, Galatasaray,
of course,
and those teams.
They just light stuff on fire.
I want to see Partizan Red Star.
Oh, you got to see that. That's a big one.
Yeah, man. So
back in the day when the Red Star was actually like a bigger club, my dad tells me like they played against Real Madrid and it was 100,000 people in a stadium that today holds 50,000 capacity. So like there was nowhere to sit. It was all standing. So and then the place you literally couldn't see the pitch because of the smoke. Like everyone would turn on the fucking red flares and it just like was just you couldn't see anything. Like the camera, you watch the footage, you're like, they're playing football here? Like what? What's happening? Well, okay, so yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's amazing.
Yeah, so another question I was gonna ask you, who's the most interesting person you've met so far in these journeys professionally?
Most interesting.
Or wild or whatever, stood out to you kind of as an outlier amongst outliers.
Yeah, I think one player we worked with, Gökhan Inler, he was one of like the best, like he played for Leicester City when they won the Premier League.
Oh, okay.
And then he was the captain of Switzerland national team. But he's had like a crazy journey too. Wherever he goes, he's winning also.
Really? Where is he now?
Now,
so
he's at the end of his career. So he's in the Turkish Super League now. He was at Istanbul Başakşehir.
Yep.
But they just won the Turkish League 2 again.
Yeah, well, maybe put some bets on this guy. I don't know. Like,
yeah. His shooting was just amazing. Like right foot, left foot was the same. And like powerful shots. Normally players we work with, they're like bending shots, but this guy was straight laces on everything.
Really? Why is he a wild man? Why is he like a wild character?
He just has a lot of energy and he needs everything perfect,
Really?
If there's a ball in frame, it bothers him or something. Like he's a perfectionist.
He would care about frames of shots? Like,
yeah.
Even though like it was your video, he would like be upset like a frame didn't go well?
Yeah. So he wants it perfect,
That's wild. Have you made like any professional friends obviously through this? Because you're meeting so many people. Like maybe you hit it off with Ibra, like he's inviting you back to
Yeah, for sure. I think all the players we shoot with were friends after, Like sometimes we go to eat dinner together or something. Sometimes they host us. Sometimes they even say like, come stay with us. So we meet a lot of people throughout the journey. So every country we have some friends, some players. Whenever we want, we can visit.
You got a place to stay anywhere in the world, basically.
For sure.
Maybe
we gotta keep growing the list.
Yeah, you gotta keep. Maybe these guys like because practice probably gets so mundane and boring. They're just like, you know what? This guy's bringing some like excitement and joy, like with these little drills. He's kind of cool. Like, I have to go back to running tomorrow.
Yeah, they enjoy something new. Because they never get to do like technical stuff or something in training. It's just the basics. Like 1-2 touch passing, possession drills.
Yeah.
Not even too much shooting sometimes, So when they get the extra time, they love it, like doing technical things, and they struggle with it because they don't do it for so long. So it's a whole different thing.
Do any of these clubs like ask you like, hey man, like where'd you buy this stuff? Like we want to set up this drill for like our guys, like so we can do it on our free time and
Yeah, I think they know now like where to get the stuff. It's just skills, a lot of the stuff, like the yellow equipment.
Right.
I travel with just a big suitcase full of
I was going to say, how do you travel with all this stuff? Like you have probably a lot of gear.
Yeah. So normally we had 2 bags of just equipment, but now we took it down to one big bag and we just take it everywhere.
What's it been like traveling recently? Has it been difficult with...
To be honest, it's been easier now. Every airport's less busy. Probably the cleanest air plane you'll get.
Right.
And it's probably the cleanest time and best time to fly.
That's so wild. What about the quarantines and stuff like that? Like, is that annoying? Like, how do they work that out?
Yeah, I mean, Canada is tough. I think Canada is one of the strictest countries, 14 days instant. But a lot of the countries, they didn't have quarantine, or you just did a test on arrival. Yeah.
Were you in England like recently or no?
Not recently. I know they went to lockdown now.
Okay. So that video with Calvert was from in the past, like a while ago or what?
Yeah. That was from the past.
Was that...
we'll have to do a new one.
Yeah, I was going to say, was that before he had his breakout season? Like, he's literally having the best season of his life.
Yeah. That was probably a season or 2 ago.
Oh, that was 2 seasons ago. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn. Can't take
so
credit.
We'll take credit for that. It's come up too.
I was going to say, is there any way we can kind of like take some credit for that? All right, bro. We're about 30-minute mark. You're a busy guy. I don't want to keep you too long. Thank you for coming by.
No
let people know where they can follow you.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me on. And all the socials are just the same, Moali FC.
Beautiful. Thanks, all right, man. Thank you.